to be moving around the survival instincts, the spleen center, and so a lot of fears will be coming up. One of the things I love working with fears. I love working with shadows. I love this sort of aspect of design. So when you look at this fear that you just talked about, the fear of failure, it seems pretty intense, doesn't it? And so I think there's a duality to this, is both fear of failure, but there's probably coupled with that a fear of success. Now, here's something interesting that I've noticed in my human design / BG5 experiment is, so I think we've talked about this before, Vanessa, where there's 3 functions in the body graph. So we have survival instincts, which is intuitive awareness. We have the conceptualization, which is mental awareness, and we have the emotional intelligence, which is obviously emotional awareness. So each of those 3 functions and all the traits around it carry these fears. So each trait has a particular fear. So obviously the 32 is the fear of failure. So here's what I've noticed, and Vanessa, you can tell me if you've noticed this yourself. It doesn't matter if you have that particular trait. Those fears will still show up in some way, somehow. So here's my theory about it. Number 1, there's transits, like next week, Vanessa's talking about that. So those fears will show up. They're in the fields, and also we're going to meet people who have these particular traits defined in their design, and so their fear will be absorbed by us. So Vanessa, have you experienced that at all?
Oh, of course. And I like the way I experience this is that we all are going to have access to all of these fears. If you have this defined, then the fear of failure might be something that you are grappling with on a fairly consistent basis and that you are learning through yourself. Whereas those that have it undefined, this is inconsistent for us, and it comes up potentially more through our relationships as well as through the transits. And so being aware of when this is transiting, and it will be transiting in the sun starting on the 13th for 6 days, there is that potential to really be amplifying that fear of failure. And if you are experiencing that during that transit, like understanding, oh, this is kind of what the energy is sending us right now, it's a great opportunity to become wise about that, to really anchor into your strategy and your authority or your decision-making strategy, and not let that energy or that fear stop you from doing things that are correct for you or jumping into things that are incorrect for you because that fear is pulling you off of your correct decision-making style.